We head to the appointed meeting spot, right at the turn of the hour. Even during the day, the forest felt hostile and foreign, but now at night, it's downright scary. Each rattle of a branch is a demon's footstep. Every gust of wind is a monster's breath. I stand close to Tara, treading on the backs of her feet several times. I think this is supposed to be the place. I look around the area. It's indistinguishable from the rest of the woods. My only comfort is the tiny pinprick of light that represents our cabin. Back at the forest's edge, a feeling of dread creeps its way up to my spine. What if this is a trap or a setup? Maybe Morgan's just lured us out here in the middle of nowhere and is waiting out of sight with a knife in hand or something. Considering we travelled thousands of kilometers to get here, if this was a trick and we fall for it hard, maybe we're early? I know that we're not. Tara sweeps the flashlight around, illuminating a few identical trees before the light's beam patters off into oblivion. Maybe we should just go back. The light passes over Morgan, suddenly a meter away from us. Hello, Morgan. Hello, Morgan. Ah! Tara jolts backwards, crashing into me. The flashlight plummets to the ground, bouncing once before stopping. Bouncing. I keep my balance, barely, and catch Tara's arm to stop her from falling. Are you okay? Short term, yeah, but I think I've just lost 10 years. What about you, Mads? I'm fine. What on earth are you doing? Me? I was waiting for you. Where? Didn't you hear us? Just over there. Sorry, I had headphones in and I missed you. You were just standing in the dark, in a forest, wearing headphones. Yes, why? And lost for words, I can only shrug. Does hanging out alone in the dark in the middle of nowhere not register as weird for Morgan? You just spooked us a little. Is all. No worries. Yeah, there are worries. She stoops down and retrieves the flashlight from the snow, drying it on her sleeve. She brushes off the snow the same way she brushes off Morgan's actions. Anyway, it's all good. What now? Morgan turns and faces the trees, shining her flashlight across them. I thought we could walk around a little. It might help you to get a better feel for the area. Behind Morgan's back, Tara and I exchange a look of concern. Tara gives me the slightest of shrugs. I'm still reluctant, but I nod. If Morgan's planning to kill us, it's not like it'll make a difference whether she does it here or in the forest. And I'm pretty sure she's not a murderer. She's secretly a yandere. Anyway, sure, let's lead on. Where did the let's come from? Morgan sets off without another word, and we follow just a couple of paces back. Yeah, anyways, who the hell would wear headphones if you're going to look out for somebody? Like, if you can't hear them, there's a bloody good reason why you can't hear them. Because you have headphones on, for goodness sakes. Are we going somewhere in particular? Not really. I don't you want to go too far this late at night, right? Right. That's fine, we'll stick to the edge then. As we walk, Morgan keeps her flashlight pointed straight ahead in the direction that we're going. Tara, on the other hand, swings hers around. Okay. Looking up trees and out into the abyss. She and I only brought one flashlight with us. The spare is sitting in one of our suitcases back at the cabin. I regret leaving it behind, just on the off chance that we somehow get separated. So, did you learn anything useful today? Not really. We went around town some, but most people didn't really want to talk. Yeah. How'd you know? That's how it is around here. People are mistrustful. I was kind of surprised by that. Figured with how out of the way it is here, that we might have been, I don't know, treated like celebrities. Hey now, don't project. But something like that. It's more like they isolate themselves by choice. We have internet and TV. It's just that lots of people choose not to use them. I'm guessing they probably had some not so nice things to say about me too, right? Neither Tara or I respond. Our silence lasts a bit too long. It's okay, I'm used to it. You don't have to pretend or anything. Light shines in our faces as Morgan turns around, half smiling. Hey, you two don't need another assistant back where you live or anything, right? My mouth flips like a fish when I try to think of a diplomatic response, but then Morgan laughs and faces forward again. Just kidding. Wah. And now, yep, we trek on in an awkward silence. Oh my gosh, that is loud. Nah, this is definitely just normal sound, and that is quite loud in ways that I think is too loud. We trek on in awkward silence. I'm not even sure what we're supposed to be doing or looking for. We're just wandering in the dark. Trusting that Morgan knows how to get back to the cabin. It's cold and my feet are sore, and I'm once again regretting coming to Eysenfeld. I gently tug Tara's sleeve right by her elbow. When she looks at me, I silently gesture back towards where we came from and shrug, hoping she'll get the message. Now, she mouths back. I nod. She gives me a worried look over towards Morgan, who's now slightly further away. Tara holds up 5 fingers. 5 more minutes. I nod again. We hurry to catch back up with Morgan. Something wrong? Oh no, Maddie, I had something in her shoe. Oh? It's hard to tell if she buys it. I wouldn't. Mentally, I'm counting backwards from 5 minutes, already imagining the comfort of my bed and blanket back at the cabin. How I'm going to survive a whole month of this is an issue for future me to worry about. I got lost out in this part of the forest once. 3 minutes and 32 seconds. 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Don't worry though, I know my way around. Yeah, they mentioned something like that. I step on Tara's foot again. Oh dear, not again. This time totally on purpose. I thought they might. Her tone is completely non-hesitant. It's a word I don't see every day, folks. At least Morgan seems impossible to offend. It's too bad it looks like it's going to snow tonight. We probably shouldn't stay out too late. Thank God. Yeah, that's too bad. I'm sorry this is so disappointing. I'd hope there would be more to see. What exactly were you expecting this middle of the night? Come on, Mads, it's about the atmosphere. It's way spookier out here when it's dark. I know, that's half the problem. We can turn back now if you'd like. Before I can agree, Tara shakes her head. Now, let's give it a couple more minutes. You came out all this way for us, after all. I glare at Tara, but I think she misses it. I've lost track of my countdown, too. Whatever. The small apologetic smile that I barely noticed does little to assuage my discomfort. We traipse aimlessly through the snow for a while longer. I stare at my feet, more than at the path ahead, and simply follow in the footprints left behind by the other two. So I nearly slam into Tara, who's come to a complete halt yet again. What now? I saw something. You did? Tara, stop messing around. Let's... No, I mean it. I saw something. It's a creepy, ghosty gay ghost. I shut up. I can tell by her tone that she's serious. She saw something, or at least she thinks she did. The three of us turn and face the way she is, even deeper into the forest, barely lit by the moon. There was a light. Someone else walking around? There shouldn't be anyone out at this time of night. It's dangerous to be in the woods once it gets late. I opt to not point out the obvious hypocrisy. It was probably moonlight or something. It wasn't the moon, Maddie. There's something out there. Way, a lovely adventure time. All fixed. Both of them point their flashlights in the direction Tara's looking. Aside from more trees, there's nothing to be seen. Tara? Maddie? She grins. This is what we're here for. Come on. What? Tara breaks into a run, leaving Morgan and I behind in surprise. We exchange a look before Morgan runs off after her. I have no choice but to go. The regret is almost instant. Cold knives pierce my lungs with each heavy breath. I'm not in the best shape to begin with, and the snow and boots don't make things any easier. The only consolation that we're running in a straight line, so it won't be hard to follow our paths back. Every so often we pause to catch our breath. The pace is catching up to Tara too, who has to fight to keep her smile on. Morgan seems unfazed by it all. I'm about 3 seconds away from demanding that we give up when I see it. Here it is. Way off in the distance, too far to identify the source. Here's a light in the sky. It sparkles and glimmers, like a star that fell to the earth. I fall silent, the words stolen from my mouth. Then Tara points, stating what we already know. There it is. Buoyed by her second wind, Tara runs off again. This time Morgan and I are close behind. We follow the light, which sometimes blinks out but soon reappears. I'm too focused on not slipping and falling to give much thought as to the source. Oh dearie me. Oh dear. There's no telling how long or how far we've been going. Somehow the light never seems to get any closer or further away. It's like it's running from us every time we move. Hey, wait up! Tara yells out into the darkness. If whatever it is can understand her, it ignores her. Running is quickly becoming difficult. My lungs burn from the cold and my breathing turns ragged after barely a minute. Tara pulls further and further ahead from Morgan and me, her once-track mind fixated on that light. After a bit longer I hit my limit and my pace slows back to a walk, then a stop. I fold over, hands on my knees as I grasp for breath. Morgan crunches to a stop just ahead too, turning back towards me. Are you alright? I try to respond, but I'm breathing too heavily to be able to talk. I just wave my hand, gesturing for Morgan to go on ahead without me, but she doesn't. Are you sure? I force myself to stand and nod. I'm fine. In the murk, Tara's become a disembodied light herself. Only the flashlight glow is visible. I watch it bounce to a halt, and then slowly makes its way back towards us. You guys give up too easy. What do you mean we're out of breath, Tara? How are you not dead? I haven't seen you run in years. That's cause you never hit the gym with me. I don't know if she's joking or not, and I'm too worn out to care. So what was that thing? Do you think it was your forest spirit? Morgan's eyes widen. You believe me? Tara shrugs. I'm considering it at least. I mean, what else could it have been? Fairies? Morgan says it very nonchalantly. I side-eye Tara, who is very interested in her boots. The forest spirit doesn't really make a light like that, at least not that I'm aware of. Right, that makes sense. Doesn't it, Mads? It was probably someone from the village. But, as I say, I know how unlikely that is. The way the lights seemed to always maintain a precise distance was unnatural. I could feel the seeds of doubt being sown in my heart. But it was definitely strange. Tara looks at me with more pride than a rainbow flag. Hey, holy blood! That's practically canon in Maddie's terms. I run my eyes, but it's partially just for show. I'm curious at the very least. I wouldn't call myself a believer as much as Tara wishes. But that's 2 strange things so far, which is 2 more than I expected when I boarded the train out here. It was strange. That's as much as I'll get. A yawn overtakes me in a bit of a speaking. It doesn't help the pain in my lungs. Guess it's past your bedtime, huh? I kick some snow at her and it bounces uselessly off her pants? Not the pants! With the way we've been bantering with each other, it really does feel a bit more like old times. Make that 3 strange things on this trip so far. We should begin heading back anyway. We can't go much further in before I'd be lost too. You still know where we are? Yes, of course, we'd be in trouble if not. She has a point. I caught so much chasing the light that I lost track of what direction we came from. I'll show you around more tomorrow. There's something you might like to see. Yeah, what is it? A surprise. We'll go tomorrow before it gets dark. It's a bit of a walk. Does it have to do with whatever that light was? I have no idea. It's possible. Story of my life. Okay, well, we'll call it quits for tonight and pick back up tomorrow. Yeah, I guess. That's fine by me. Great. She hops forward, then pauses. Guess you ought to lead the way. Morgan smiles as she does just that, yep. Please let Morgan go the way. I will show you the way. No, I will show you the way. It takes us only 15 minutes or so to reach the cabin. But you haven't really been running for that long then. We must have added a lot of time to our trip with all the wandering we did. Morgan bids us farewell at the door, which I barely returned before stumbling inside. But it's a beautiful scene as well. I'm halfway out of my boots by the time Tara's inside. Guess you're not staying up late then. I'm out like a light the second I hit the bed. Tara grins just briefly. Right. My hand is on the doorknob when Tara clears her throat. Hey, thanks for, you know, chasing after that thing. I appreciate you playing along. My hand lingers on the door, poised to turn. Yeah, of course. Let's see what we find tomorrow. Yeah, right. Right. Good night. Night. I quickly step in and then shut my bedroom door before Tara can say anything else. As I switch off the lights and call her to bed, I remember the end of the train ride here. I felt the same just now, standing there not knowing what to say. It would be so easy. I banish those thoughts from my mind and wrench my eyes shut. I do apologise, folks. There'll be time to worry about it tomorrow. I have time to think. We have a month. As I slowly drift off to sleep, the exhaustion that I feel winning out over the stress, the last thoughts I have are of dancing lights in the snow. Dancing lights? Look at the sunset. Oh, hey again everyone! Tara's busy, so it's just me this time. That's probably just as well, because at this point in the game, I'm keeping a pretty big secret from her. We've launched into the main plot by now, so I'll try to keep the summary brief. Long story short, I found a ghost and Tara doesn't know about it. Since she's busy investigating with Morgan, I'm taking some time to get to know the ghost girl of my own. I'll tell her eventually, I promise. It's just nice to have something you could call yours sometimes, you know. Well, since she's not doing this intro, I guess I have two things on my own now. I really am living the high life. Oh dear. With almost every step I take, I cast a glance behind me. I keep expecting to hear the crunch of snow, or spot a flash of red hair as Tara follows me, but there's nothing. I'm alone. I hurry through the woods practically on autopilot less than a week ago. I'd have never set foot in the forest on my own, but now I already have the path to the clearing memorized. It gives me extra time to worry. What am I even doing? Everything about the situation is extremely not me. Heading off on my own into a dark forest without telling anyone to meet up with a ghost. Even thinking the word ghost still makes my heart lurch. I've seen her with my own eyes, and yet I still have trouble believing it. And I'm just trusting that she's not going to lead me to her lair and suck out my soul or something like that. I feel like Gretel. I'm not even cautious enough to leave a breadcrumb trail. But still I keep walking. Keep walking. Keep walking. There's something exciting in being on my own. In doing something without Tara. I can't remember the last time I had a secret from her. At least not a big one. Not telling her about the ghost girl feels a little bit like rebellion. I feel like I deserve something exciting that's all on my own. She and Morgan can go do whatever. I doubt Tara would even notice I'm not around. And even if she does, it's something that she needs to get used to. I'm tired to show her how to cut I tried to show her how to cut a video or frame a shot lots of times. It's her own fault that she still doesn't get it. Just like it's her own fault that she's missing out now. As I approach the clearing, I slow down a little. My usual trepidation overtakes me once again as I contemplate just how reckless this is. There's absolutely no guarantee that the girl isn't dangerous, that I'll walk out of these woods alive. Normally, I'd chastise Tara for following her gut instinct, which does probably 70% of her decisions. Yet, that's all that I have to go off right now. The feeling that I'm safe with the ghost girl, that she won't harm me. I cross the threshold of trees and into the clearing, just like the other times. It's serenely quiet. Even my past footsteps are gone, erased by the wind or snowfall. I am here. Somehow I feel like she already knows. Before this swallows my words, return to frozen, pristine silence. Aren't you a little one? Soundlessly, she steps out from behind a tree. A small smile sets on her face. Though her eyes are slightly downcast, she waves, meeting my eyes for just a moment before glancing away. Hi there? My words hang in the still air. Were you waiting for me? We lock eyes again and she nods, quickly, earnestly. I hope it wasn't for too long. She shakes her head and then she laughs. I'm not sure what that joke is though. What's so funny? Once she catches her breath, she bites her lips as she ponders. After a moment, she shrugs, looking apologetic. I guess explain a joke through gestures would be difficult. She saddles up next to me, and I fight the urge to step back, but I've decided to trust her. My instincts still believe my blind nerves, But what she seems to be most interested in is the bag slung over my shoulder. She simulates opening the bag so that she can see into it. Nosy, huh? Immediately she backsteps, waving her hands in a frantic apologetic motion. Sorry, I was just kidding. You can look. She regards me like a timid deer as I hold the bag open for her to see. Inside are a couple of books I picked up in the village this morning. I hold up the first one, small and square and baby blue. I got a really strange look from the person who runs the bookstore because of this one. It's a book of baby names. Her eyes go wide, and she grasps at her belly but points at me. It takes me a second to understand what she means, and for some reason I feel my face flush. No, I'm not pregnant, but I thought maybe you could use it to show me your name? If it's a name that would be... Before I can finish, she zoomed back over to me. All sense of personal space out once again discarded. She clasps her hands, a fiery look in her eyes, and hops up and down. Frankly, it's adorable. Guess you're a fan. Okay, cool. She eyes the book hungrily. She must be excited to share her name with me. It's a little exciting for me too. It's nice to see someone so excited about being with me. I fight to keep an overzealous grin on my face. Okay, let's see. I look around. Aside from trees and snow, there isn't much to see. I wonder if there's something about this place in particular that the girl likes. Is there somewhere nearby where I could sit? Where we could sit down? It feels a little weird. Just keep standing. Finger on her chin, she ponders. Then she turns and points towards the woods, even further in. I can tell from the looks in her eyes that she's uncertain. I swallow a lump in my throat. I've come this far after all. Sure, that's fine. Lead me the way. Touchy. She does so, but never gets too far from my side. Every few steps she glances over at me, as if I'm making sure I'm still... Yeah, as if I'm making sure I'm still there. That feels a little backwards to me, but in a nice way. I don't really feel compelled to break the silence either, of course. Part of that is because any conversation would be one-sided. But also, she looks content, like she's just happy to be here. I am too. The silence doesn't feel vast and overwhelming, like it does with Tara. It feels warm. You again? Before too long I realise what our destination is. This is near the same path that Morgan took us down just a couple dusks ago. I recognise some of the more grotesquely warped trees. We're going to that church? Eyes wide. She nods, probably surprised that I know of it. One of the villagers showed it to us a few days ago. Me and my friend. If there's weird to just call Tara my friend. Usually if I'm talking about someone about Tara, they've met her. The girl just nods yet again. As we reach the edge of the trees, and the church itself comes into sight, I look around for traces of the monster we saw days before. There are none to be seen though. No snapped or toppled trees. No Bigfoot. No footsteps as deep as I am tall. Much like the girl beside me, there's no trace of its existence. Yes, because whatever trace you left behind gets buried by snow. I look over to the door of the church, where she's patiently waiting for me. Once again, I fall back all my fears and hesitations and head for the door too. It's too late to turn back now. The door is still slightly ajar from our visit days ago. A thin trail of snow powders the entryway, but otherwise the church is dry. It's still unnaturally warm. I wonder if that has to do with the girl too. From the way she walks, I can tell she's familiar with the place. She heads to the front, stepping just shy of the altar, where she turns around to face me. Being back here is a little unnerving. We haven't been here before though, at least for the players and myself, and I slowly approach her, though she hasn't given me any reason to be suspicious. The image of those monstrous eyes is ingrained in my memories, but this time there's no howling wind or earth-shaking footsteps, just the one girl waiting patiently. Ah. I give her a smile as I sit down on one of the pews near the front. It's hewn from stone, smooth and rigid. She takes a seat right beside me. Normally being this close to strangers makes me feel uncomfortable. With her, I don't really mind. Part of it is, of course, the fact that I can't feel her at all. But the other part is that it feels kind of pleasant to sit together like this. I hastily pushed that thought out of my mind. She's a ghost. She is literally transparent and insubstantial. I rummage through the bag and grab the book of baby names. Okay, so first, she bounces up and down with anticipation as I tear off the plastic clean wrap and stuff it into the tote bag. She looks very asleep on my end, unfortunately. Very, very, very asleep. Is the first letter early in the alphabet? She nods and holds up one finger. I-L? Two shakes off her head. She touches her index fingers together and then uses her middle finger to cross between them. O and A? Enthusiastically nodding. I flip to the first couple of pages in the book. Right in the middle of the A is the first name I spot is Amber. Impatiently she leans over me and motions to go further back, towards the start. I turn the pages slowly, giving her time to scan. Ah. On the very first page she holds out a hand to stop and points. She's practically hanging over my shoulder to show me. It's a very, very endearing sight. Abigail? Your name is Abigail? She gives me the biggest, most radiant grin I've ever seen as she nods. Her joy is infectious, but I can't help but smile too. Abigail. I repeat it, and she looks even more joyful. A beam of light breaks through the glass window, illuminating dust and motes that make it look as she's sparkling. We lock eyes, and I feel my breath catch in my throat. The look in her eyes, pure, unadulterated happiness, is something I've never seen before. They shine with tears, the good kind. The kind that bring out the colour of her eyes, the radiant kind. I didn't know I could make someone happy like this. I quickly look away, back Back to a now irrelevant book in my lap. Anyway, Abigail, I have a couple of questions. Is that okay? Abigail nods. So maybe this is rude to ask, but are you a ghost? Or are you something else? Abigail closes her eyes and, with a sad smile, nods. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what the appropriate response to something like that is. Then, are you from Eysenfeld? Nod. Do you know a girl from there called Morgan? She shakes her head. That makes sense. I'm sure Morgan would have mentioned her before if so. So have you been a ghost for a long time then? I cringe a little as I ask. It seems gunch. Although I'm not entirely sure what proper etiquette is for this kind of conversation. In answer to my question, she nods again. Do you know how long? A shrug. She holds up one finger, then two fists. 100? Another shrug, and a nod. 100 years. I murmur it to myself in slight disbelief. It could be more. I doubt she's been keeping track of every day. The world out there, the world I come from, it may as well be another planet for her. I'm sorry. It's incomprehensible to me. I can't fathom that much time passing, unable to talk to anyone. How lonely that must be. She closed her eyes yet again, though I've been interpreting her silence as serene. I wonder if that's how she feels. These yes or no questions are practically the extent of what I can ask her. There's still such a gulf between who she is and what I know of her. Centuries worth of solitude. And all that time. Have you ever spent time like this with someone else? Without opening her eyes or looking at me, she shakes her head again. I'm the only one? I fall silent too. My head's still reeling. There are so many things I want to ask and want to know. How did she die? Why did her spirit stick around? Does she know about the thing we saw in the snow? Why am I the first person she's shown herself to? But there's no way she could answer. And even if she could, I wonder if she'd want to. Is it impolite to remind a ghost that they're dead? It's morbidly funny to me that these questions I have to ask myself. Well, these are. Tara would love this. Tara would. I push the thought out of my head. Tara's not here right now. It's just me and Abigail. Would you like me to read that other book? Her grin returns, with a moment of melancholy dispelled. Seems I made the right call in changing the subject. I'll show her the cover before I crack it open, enjoying that new book smell. This is a book I read a lot when I was younger. It's about a girl who wants to be a hero, so she goes on a quest with her best friend to prove herself. It's a little childish, I guess, but maybe you'd like it. Abigail clasps her hands and nods. I have a feeling I could read the dictionary to her and she'll be satisfied, but I don't mention that. Okay. I smooth a crease and open to the first page. Once upon a time... It's a story that I could probably recite by heart. My mum used to read it to me when I was a little girl, and it was one of the books that I used to learn to read. I was both surprised and excited to see that there was a copy in Eysenfeld's bookstore. I settled into an easy cadence of reading, though I'm not used to reading out loud. It starts to feel pretty natural after only a couple pages. Like my mum used to do, I give all the characters different voices. I don't have quite the range that Mum does, but Abigail seems to enjoy it all the same. She smiles and laughs in all the right places. It makes my heart warm to see how much she's enjoying it. Her eyes are closed yet again, but she looks quite content. As we finish chapter 2, Abigail scoots a little bit closer and rests her head near my shoulder. I pause mid-sentence, surprised, but resume just a second later. Though I can't feel her there, the sentiment is clear. I keep reading. Sometimes when I glance down, I can see that her eyes are open, reading along. Her lips mouth the same words I am. One time she catches me looking at and blushes, but I just smile and continue. After we finish chapter 4, I finally pause. My mouth is dry and my jaw is starting to hurt a little bit. I must have been reading aloud for close to an hour. Even though I stop, Abigail doesn't sit up or open her eyes. Her hand rests on my arm, and I step the book aside. Do ghosts need to sleep? That's another question I can ask, but maybe at a different time. Right now I'm happy to let her pretend. Quietly I hum a song. It's something from the radio, a title I can't remember, but that's always stuck in my head. I'm extremely off key, I'm sure, but I don't care. It just feels right. When I stop, she finally opens her eyes and sits back up. As we gaze at each other, she mouths 2 words I don't have to be good at reading lips to decipher. Thank you. No problem. I hope you like the story. First she claps, and then she places one hand over her heart. I laugh, flattered but also a little embarrassed. I think that's all I can do today. But we should read more sometime. If you want to, I mean. I already know the answer, but she gives me an empathetic nod all the same. Okay, it's a promise. She touches her heart again and I smiled. I should probably head back to the cabin soon. People start to get suspicious if I'm gone for too long. Abigail cocks her head like an owl, curious. I haven't told my friends about you yet. It's sort of like our secret, I guess. I want to keep it that way for just a little while longer. She smiles in agreement. Everything has a place. A scene again, huh? Nah, it is in different chapters. Time skip time. You can't get rid of me that easily. Believe me, I tried. Abigail and I have been spending a lot of time together since the last scene, and we've gotten to know each other a lot better. At this point in the story, she's also able to talk, which makes things a lot easier. For someone who hasn't spoken to another human being in over 200 years, she's a surprisingly excellent conversationalist. You two are on a date in this scene, right? No, we're just talking, that's all. Just going on a walk and talking. That's perfectly normal. Just a chance for the 2 of us to enjoy each other's company. Hang on a sec. These next few scenes don't even have me in them. Shouldn't Abigail be introducing them instead? We actually never had a chubby sprite made for her, so we can't. Hey, it's me, Abigail. I'm really spooky and I just love Maddie so much. I'm so glad we're dating now. Just roll the damn scene. Abby takes my hand in hers, but then drops it right away as if burned. She grasps, her mouth freezing in a perfect of shock. What is it? What's wrong? Your hand. With everything that's happened, I half expect it to be fading away or something, but when I hold it up, nothing seems out of the ordinary. I could feel it. Then she darts forward and grabs my hand in both of hers. I can feel your hand, Madison. It's real. Like a jeweler with a diamond, Abby takes my hand and runs her fingers over it, with a characteristic disregard of personal space. Excited? She seems to realize what she's doing and quickly pulls away, breaking the spell. Sheepishly, she kicks at the ground, not meeting my eyes. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was incredibly rude of me. For a moment I lost myself and... It's okay. I don't mind. Why don't you mind? There are a lot of little things in my daily life that I take for granted. The simple actions of talking to someone at the store, or sitting next to a stranger on the bus. They're not enjoyable. I'd even say that I dislike them. But for someone who hasn't interacted with another human being, who hasn't even come near a human being in however many years, that's something I can't even imagine. And really, I don't mind. Wonderful. She smiles so brightly at me, it almost hurts. It's not fair that something so simple could It's not fair that something so simple should be so meaningful for her. But she just skips back over to me and grabs my hand like nothing happened. Clearly, the embarrassed act was just a charade. Honestly, she's easier to read than the book in the church. I let her indulge herself for a moment, but she's so completely engrossed that I feel like we could be here for hours when she basks in the novelty of it. Not that it'd be a problem, but, well, I'm just not being used to being fawned over like this. Anyway, you were going to show me something. Oh yes. It's something very special. I think you'll enjoy it. Lead the way. We lock eyes, and for a second I think she's going to say something, but whatever it is, she changes her mind and just smiles and nods. She tugs a little on my hand as she turns around, and we run. Why are we running? I'm borne along by her boundless enthusiasm and sure more than a little magic. The trees fly by at a blur, impossibly fast, just like being on the train again. Like snowflakes, they melt into my vision faster than I can really notice it. The speed is some gift of the forest, I imagine, a consolation of what is done to me. Our footsteps are formless against the snow. We're walking in the air. We're walking in the air. That song, you know, that Grimble song, that snowy song. It's the same as when I first met Abby. That feels like an eternity ago. I guess technically it was a lifetime ago. I have no idea how far we've run, how far we're going, but we're surely deep into the trees, deeper than even Morgan's likely ever dared to go. There's no pain in my legs or in my lungs. This is easier than walking. As we go, I'll try to push aside all of the worries and tensions. Frankly, I think about the situation out of my hand for just a little while. Just for now, I want to enjoy this for my own sake, for Abby's sake. Though it surely isn't hard, Abby manages to never let go of my hand. She's constantly pulling me forward, keeping me near her. I feel like there's a lot of scenes that were missed out on this game, like the different phases. So we're always on track, but then we skip forward a few days, and then another few days in each chapter. I feel like there's possibilities that could have been covered, but wasn't. I wonder if I'll be able to split my attention like that. I can't even boil water and chop vegetables at the same time, so I have trouble thinking of anything other than her. So many scenes. The gentleness of her grip, the light and joyful way she moves across the ground, the certainty with which she pulls me forward. Ever so often she turns around to make sure I'm still there, for I'm sure she's very aware of our interlocked fingers. Each time she looks back at me, I smile at her, and each time she looks away with a blush. We ran for so long that I feel like we must have crossed the whole forest by now. We ran for so long that I start to wonder if we'll ever stop. Where are we going? I yell, even though my breathing is strained at all. It's just a little bit further. All around us the snow glistens and sparkles in the rising sun. We must look like we're in a Christmas card right now. Finally, Abby slows down until we're walking at a regular pace. I fall into the step beside her, rather than just behind, and she lets go of my hand. Imagine if you did get a Christmas card and it was just literally Maddie and Abby girl on it. There's something different about where we are. At first I only noticed it as a vaguely uneasy feeling, like we're being watched. Abby seems oblivious or indifferent. Something in the corner of my eyes, but when I turn my head there's nothing there. It happens again, this time on the other side, but there's still nothing. Birdsong can be heard from in the woods. Sound like tettering laughter. It's not a bird that I'm familiar with. What's going on? Where are we? We're almost there, I promise. What exactly is there? Please, just trust me. You'll see soon. Trust her? I've been doing that since I met her. And look where that got me. Out here though, it's not as if I have any other choice. You know, you could just turn around and this Yuri visual novel could end, you know? I'm joking. Wordlessly, we keep walking. Strange streaks of colour decorate some of the trees like plant. Icicle dangles from branches and seem to give off a strange glow. When I get close to inspect one, though, the glow dims. Madison? Abby's paused a little ways ahead while I'm examining the flora. Sorry, I'm coming. You'll understand in just a moment, I promise. There's always a moment. There's always a little bit further. There's always this, there's always that. Hours, even days pass by, you know, when you keep saying just a little further. That's the second time she promised. I would never do anything to hurt you. I just want you to be surprised. Okay. I'll do my best to ignore the discomfort, the creeping fear of the unknown. I'm not especially good at it. Finally though, the path starts to widen as the trees grow further apart. Just ahead I can see where they spread into a clearing, much like the one where I first met Abby. And as we pass through the line of trees, I finally see what it is she wants to show me. Ah, it is quite the magical lake. Here in the middle of the forest is a small pond that must be at least as magical as the girl beside me. Its waters are calm and still, but not frozen, despite the clear blue sky overhead. The water is salmon pink, the colour of a sunset. Surrounding the pool and surrounding us are trees of similar pink and lavender hues as the water. No snow adorns their branches, though again a few icicles hang from them. Their shapes are twisted and strange, and gives off the same glow as before. Grass underfoot fights to break through the snow. Not too far away, right at the edge, a deer and her fawn drink. They look up as we approach, staring straight at us, but then disregard us and return to quenching their thirst. Abby was right. I can see why she brought me here. It's beautiful, isn't it? Tranquil and serene. This place does feel like an escape from the rest of the forest. I wonder if any mortal human has ever stepped foot here. I wouldn't be surprised if not. Who made it this way? The lights, the laughter, the fleeting motions, I'm sure they're all related. Abby takes a deep breath and I expect her to change the subject or give a cryptic answer again. But it's very straightforward. Fairies, the forest responds. The trees sway, leaning forward to listen. There's a sound like a ringing bell, but I'm not sure if I'm imagining it. Fairies? Abby nods. Then she laughs. Don't trouble yourself with them though. We'll likely never see them again. They live all throughout the forest, but this place is special to them, just like it is to me. We share it, in a sense. Have you seen them? Yes, many times. She says it so casually that I'm reminded of Morgan, telling us about spirits and talking cows. My heart pains at the thought. It seems so long ago. What are they like? They're similar to wasps, like I said. Don't worry about them. Oh, do come look at this though. She hurries over to a bush near the trees, crouching over a little. I humour her and follow. Hello, little ones. She coos over something that I can't see until she steps aside to make room. Madison, look. There's a small bird's nest tucked into the branches, nearly imperceptible against the tangle of sticks. A couple small chicks chirping to themselves, waiting for their mother to return. Abby presides over them with a content smile, looking as proud as if they were her own kids. Precious, aren't they? Yeah, they're really cute. One of them turns and fixes a beady eye on us. It watches intensely for a moment before deciding we're not interested enough. I'm barely paying attention to her. I look around, expecting to see a glitter of wings or pixie dust, but there's nothing besides Abby and the birds. I used to think that perhaps it would make their mothers unhappy, They never seem to mind either. They're quite friendly, in fact. Abby glances over at me, expecting a response. What was that? Just chit-chat. Sorry, I'm just preoccupied. She smiles and nods sagely. I understand. Abby takes my hand in hers once again and brings me back to the water. A gentle breeze rattles the trees. I'm sure it must be cold. Are there other places like this in the forest? No, there aren't. This one is special. I'm happy to have someone to share it with. Her shoulder brushes against mine and she snuggles up closer to me. She really has no qualms about personal space. I still don't mind though. This little moment is probably unfathomably important to her. And besides, it's pleasant. Abby breathes a deep, contented sigh. If eternity was like this, I wouldn't mind it so much. Like what? Not so lonely. Her words hang in the air despite their heaviness. She shifts silently beside me, standing just a little bit closer. I move my arm a little to make room. Thank you for bringing me here. I'm glad I was able to see it. I'm glad you were one I was able to show it to. There's a tingling feeling from the back of my neck as pinprick claws scratch it. I spin around, sweating at the air, but there's nothing there. Mason, what's wrong? I don't know. Something bit me. I feel around the back of my neck, expecting to find blood. There's a wet spot, but when I pull my hands back to look, there's nothing but water. I stand there silently for a while. I try to let the tumultuous sea of emotions I've gone through these past few days wash over me. It's still hard for me to process and accept what's happening. Part of me expects that at any moment I'm going to wake up from this strange dream. Either back in the cabin with Tara or preferably all the way back at home. But that's just a small part. The rest of me knows this is real. Am I sad, angry, confused, excited? Yes, all of these things at once, and more. It's all overwhelming, and I don't know what to do about it. Until recently, my only thoughts regarding the future were vague uncertainty towards the next few years. Now I'm confronting the concept of forever, an eternity like this. I turn my head just a little to look at Abigail. Her eyes are closed as she faces the pond, her face not betraying her thoughts or feelings. She's been alone for several times longer than I've been alive. I keep coming back to that fact. Is that what's going to happen to me as well? The rest of time bound to this forest? Well, not quite, unlike her. At least I wouldn't be alone. What? I wouldn't let myself think that way, though. It's quitters talk. I will find a way out of this. Somehow or another, I'll convince the forest spirit to let me go, whatever it takes. I'm sorry, Abigail. Alright, we're going to skip ahead again and get to our next scene. Actually, we're not. Huh? I'm looking, and I can't find the scene anywhere. I think I might not have put it in this build. Seriously? We can't just not have a scene? Check the other folders? This isn't one of these visual novels where part of a game is actually moving files around. I'm pretty sure they're just going to be patching the scene in later. Tara? Marriage, you're not going to believe what I found on this computer. Get back here. We should have this scene ready to go in an upcoming patch before too long. Thanks for your patience. Looks like you made it to the end of the demo. We hope you enjoyed the experience and that you are looking forward to the full release. Absolutely, this is a very, very heartwarming experience. But when it's like days passing by in the forest, you think that maybe the concept of time just goes out the window when you're just fixated on one thing, and that's the pond, the lover, the thing. The thing being, well, each other. I'll show up a lot more in the final game, so that should be all the motivation you need to buy it. Morgan does as well, so you get an extra pretty face to look at too. Can you at least wait until the demo's done to first over a girl that you just met, please? As a reward for completing the game, I'm going to go ahead and unlock the guest art gallery. You can check there to see some really fantastic places made by a group of incredibly talented artists, including a couple of members of Studio Elan itself. I'd think everyone who worked on making the demo possible, but given that one of them wrote me saying this, that would be awfully self-aggrandizing. What is that word? Anyway, be sure to keep an eye on Ellen's social media for updates on when you can expect the finished game, and as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Absolutely! Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That's not even remotely how a demo works. Sorry, force of habit. Exactly, like, comment and subscribe. You see, Tara knows me. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye for now anyway, but Abigail, Tara, Morgan and I are all looking forward to returning in the main game. See you then! Aw. What is this? Hold on. What does this mean? Thank you. Thank you for playing our demo. You can now access the jukebox as well as a special guest art gallery from the extras tab on the main menu. We hope you enjoyed a sample of Hearts of the Woods. We're working to have the full game released by the end of 2018. Yeah, so we definitely have two love ships going on here. We have the paranormal sense of Tara and Morgan, and then we have the close lovely doubly of Abigail and Maddie. Okay, I'm clicking, but nothing's happening. Okay. If you liked the demo, even if you didn't, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Shoot us a message on Tumblr, Twitter, or Curious Cat. We appreciate any and all the feedback. We're especially interested in any accessibility option that you'd like to see. This demo will occasionally be updated with new or revised assets, so be sure to follow our social media for news about these. Also, please consider adding the games to your wish list on your store of choice, so that you'll be notified as soon as the full game is available. Again, thanks for playing, and thanks to Studio Elan for making the game itself. Music room. So we have the different OSTs throughout the entire demo. We're not going to go to that though. Okay, so these are like the different chapters. So, Train to Another World. Okay. That's all that. This would be pretty good if you're like, I don't know, getting a thumbnail. Actually, yeah, no, this wouldn't be good because the text is on the screen. And then there's this. And, oh, did not mean to do that. And then we have this, your name. So I wonder what's going to await in the future. I reckon something drastic would happen. Carefree Spirit. Yep. Title, Two Worlds Connected. So yeah, this is basically the menu thing. This looks more detailed than the rest of the artwork, but not like the other artwork is bad at all. Oh, right click to hide this message. So yeah, how do you zoom out on this thing? You can't really zoom out, but still, nah. There's still a return button. What else? Guess art. Hey. This looks like Tara and Abby. Just because it's red hair. Or maybe Madison changed her hair color? I don't know. And then this is Madison. Then this is Abigail and a snowman. That's pretty cute. This is Abigail again. These are pretty good. Oh, these are wonderful. This is... Oh, blah! Didn't want me to do that. This is Madison and Abigail again. No, sitting at a church. This is Tara. And this is a character which we've not yet been introduced to. Or maybe this is one of the people behind the creation of the game. Then again, the bottom does look a bit, you see at the bottom there, there's lots of little white broken lines. Not too sure what that's about. Or maybe that's just part of the style. And the same to the top, but too, actually it's the same everywhere. Same everywhere along the borders. Right. So that is the end of the demo to Heart of the Woods. Please let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this demo. Would you like me to play the full game when it's released? Would you like me to critically analyse the Yuri relationships between these two love ships? Regardless though, folks, thank you so much for watching, and see you all within the next video. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.